Okay, so that's night number 2 down here, August 7th, 2021. The venue formerly known as Deer Creek Music Center, and we get some serious dad rock opening tonight with Crowd Control. Mostly I know it's dad rock, not just from the internet, because my dad actually likes it. He doesn't like many Phish songs at all. In fact, I don't think he likes any Phish songs other than Crowd Control. And so, all right, we get that out of the way. Every now and then they open with that one. If it's once a year, we can deal with that. Okay, so we move on to Poor Heart, a little John Fishman action, getting people moving. That's a kind of a bluegrass rocking song there. People are going to like. So that's nice. All right, now we're on to Mama Dance Night. We're trying to get things cooking here. Maybe that strong trio last night, they're not going to match that, obviously. First set, Mama Dance, happening a lot. Oh, got a fresh new red Sharpie today, too. We'll see. It's going to stay fresh, I think. So we get that right there. Then we're thinking, all right, we're just going to pick it up. We're picking it up as each song goes, and then back on the train again. I shouldn't give it an X, but like the other night with the Back on the Train, still a nice jam. Moma Dance, still a nice jam, but just a little bit of a different style jamming than they kind of like what we were used to there in the first set out of them songs. Then we get an army of one, Bouncin, it's like, all right, I can take one of them songs, but back to back, Paige McConnell showing off there, all right. Then we follow that up with Bouncing Around the Room after we've already got some dad rock. So now we're on to Yamar, all right, there was a big one right there. The Yamar stayed, it stayed within Yamar, didn't leave the park, but all right, some solid stuff right there out of Yamar. Then on to Roggae, it's like, all right, here we go. We're finally going, but again, still Roggae, not maybe like some previous Roggaes. And then we move on to Waves of Hope, Trey Quarantine album, and then Stash, probably the biggest highlight of the first set right there. There was some kind of tease right there in that Stash, Yeah, man, I couldn't quite get. I felt like maybe it had something to do with like the holidays or something. I couldn't figure it now. And we had a little Mary sit in. She could not figure out the tease either. We burned one, did not help. And then we get a Cavern encore. Fishman trying to make Cavern cool, trying to add the yeah in the Cavern. And it was nice right there at the pause right before they go back in to finish Cavern. So boom, you got a Cavern encore. Not a lot of huge red circles there, as you can see, for this first set. Hey, look, we were probably due for a letdown after that flamer last night. So everything's right starting out here in the second set. Nice, long, extended jam, and everything's right. Kind of like it has done pretty much about every time they've played it. Got a Moma Dance tease in there. Got a simple tease, bringing us back to last night, of course. And then once that, long, lengthy jam ends, we get into What's the Use. I believe definitely our first What's the Use of the year. Cross-eyed and Painless after the What's the Use. Oh, it was not after the What's the Use. After a little solid Cross-eyed jam there, we get back into What's the Use. So we get everything's right probably there. And so it's like, all right, What's the Use? A Cross-eyed, all this over here. Although this was a very strong start. Perhaps that's all they had in the tank. It's only round 2. We got one more to go, Perhaps conserving a little. Coming for the big knockout punch tomorrow, maybe. All right. Oh. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, We got the cross-eyed tees and Down with Disease, of course. Best part about this, though, is we finally got some mic time, with Paige just being on fire all the time. And then, of course, Trey's got to be Trey. Mike has had not a lot of opportunity to sneak in there, but in the Down with Disease jam, he certainly did. So we got some mic time there, and then we get on to Velvet Sea, then we get on to Possum. Sadly, Possum probably the highest, biggest peak of the night. End in the second set strong, middle of the second set strong, beginning of the second set. And, I'm sure people like this. And by people, I mean chompers, of course. And then Drift While You're Sleeping encore. We're not going to get David Bowie, but... So go out and get me a new red Sharpie. And they deliver with a mid-second set Down with Disease. Well, like I said last night, there was a lot of dust and bones up there on the lawn, so maybe tomorrow night, man, I got a feeling. It's Sunday, night 3 at Deer Creek. It's probably going to end with a slave. You guys are getting KO'd. Boom. Good night. Thank you.